All right, guys, we'll go right into questions for offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson.
What's up? Shoot.
How do you feel like offense has performed in the first week here in practice?
Pretty typical camp, good and bad. With no pads on the first 2 days, honestly, it's tough. You know, I mean, it's really tough up front to sustain blocks when you don't have pads on. So, really eager to put pads on the last 2 days, and it's been, you know, we're competing. You know, we got guys that are competing, straining. Got a long way to go, but very pleased that right now after 4 practices.
What's your philosophy on depth chart at this time of year? Are you constantly moving guys around?
Yeah.
Figure out after week 3?
Yeah, day to day. You have a good day, you know, you'll move up. If you like, and everything is judged. I mean, look, you know, effort's judged. You know, knowing what you need to know is judged. I mean, we got competition across the board, which we're going to keep it that way. And I would anticipate a lot of guys playing skill here. You know, I would anticipate a lot of rotation and just a lot of guys playing. I mean, we're not sitting here with a guy that's returning with 100 receptions. You know what I mean? So, hey, let's see who can play when they turn the lights on.
So, like, how many receivers will you said you'll be running back by committee. How many receivers will you rotate into games, do you think?
I mean, how many of them I feel comfortable playing? I mean, we've had, at any given time, we've had 12 guys touch balls in games before, which that's everybody, tight ends, running backs. So, I mean, 8 to 10, you know, I mean, you know, 2 deep across the board is typical. You know, you got to feel good about 2 deep. But, yeah, I mean, go play ball, man.
What are you seeing from the wide receivers these first 4 practices? Are you getting enough downfield catches?
Last 2 days, I say we would we made a little emphasis to stretch the field a little bit, and you know, those plays take time. You know, it's probably one of the harder things besides pass protection, which takes the most time, especially, you know, against our defense. But that connection down the field of you know, quarterback receiver timing takes time. You know, we're not where we need to be with that.
Did Tyler Harrell practice today?
Yeah.
Coach,
why wouldn't he?
You saw him limp off yesterday.
Oh, no.
Did he practice fully?
Yeah.
Coach, you have a lot of different tight ends on this team with a lot of different, you know, skill sets. How are you looking to incorporate that in the offense this year?
I mean, we've been doing it for the last, you know, 8 to 10 years. And so, I mean, you're going to see them all over the place. I mean, the one thing we've done over the past 4 years with them is line them up everywhere. You know, they could be outside receiver, they could be inside, they could be an off alignment on. They're going to move around. So, I mean, you know, the best thing is if you got a guy that really threatens the defense, right, with his ball skills and movement, body control, and all the rest, you can be elite at that position, you know. So.
You mentioned a few minutes ago of just, you know, judging players.
You want to whip him? You want to get on him?
On knowing what they need to know. You said talk about like judging players and like kind of like on knowing what they need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think most of the players on the offense are at that point, or is there still like, you know, a few more steps in that?
No, a lot more steps.
Okay.
You're up now.
We know about Tyler.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about Ja'Cory Brown and Emory Williams. First, Ja'Cory Brown.
Yeah.
How important is like finesse versus power for him? How is he doing?
I don't know about those 2 terms, but I mean, you know, that's a really good question because those 2 guys have been extremely consistent for the 4 practices. Been very pleased with both of those guys. I mean, just as far as picking up the pass game, knowing where to go with the ball on time. You know, those 2 guys have made huge strides since I've been here. Very proud of them, and their attitudes are off the chart.
Can you talk a little about each one? Like Ja'Cory, what have you seen? He had some problems last year with throws, inaccuracies and stuff. What do you see now?
I've seen huge strides in pocket accuracy, like sitting in the pocket, you know, intermediate in the middle of the field throws. I mean, his comfort level with those right now have improved drastically. And then with Emory, I mean, Emory's got a decent command of the offense in the sense of like he was asked to do a lot of these things in his previous life. And so a lot of the communication stuff and everything comes extremely natural to him. But Emory's both of those kids are extremely talented kids. And the best part about both of them is they root for each other, which is what I like to see.
How has Mark Fletcher adjusted to first week of practices at this level?
He's adjusted quite well. You know, kid's talented.
On the offensive line, you know, how many guys are you comfortable with sort of putting in games at this point? Obviously, you have a 5 that you started in the spring. Looks like they're.
If those 5 can play the whole season, you know, you better have 8 to 10, right? You better, you know, you want 2 deep across the board. We got good able bodies. I mean, you know, if I had to sit down with Coach Maribel right now, I don't know what he would say about, like, if we had to play tomorrow, you know, we would have to sit down and have probably a swing guy here or there. But ultimately, I think we have the bodies that at the end of camp we would feel good about, you know, 2 deep or close to 2 deep.
And you see Jalen staying at left tackle as of now, or that's still to be determined?
I mean, right now he's doing great.
So a few more for Coach Dawson.
How is Isaiah Horton coming along?
He's doing good. He's doing good. He's up and down. He's got to do everything all day right. You know, I think that's the best way to put that. You know, he's shown some flashes of, hey, this kid's extremely talented. But it ain't all about that either. You know, he's got to be a complete teammate, complete everything, and he has the ability to do that because he's a good kid, and his future's bright. You know, and he's talented. You know, he does flash at times. Consistency is what's going to win with him over time.
What are you saying, Jacoby Young?
Ma'am?
Jacoby Young, George.
Oh, about to say,
Yeah.
I don't know who is that guy. Probably similar to what I just said. You know,
Yeah.
flashes at times like the real deal, and then, you know, he'll go spurts without, you know, noticing him. So just consistency, you know.
Drops have been an
Last
issue
question.
for wide receivers here in the last year or two. What have you seen? Is it kind of like a normal number, or is it?
Yeah, it's normal. I mean, we're you know, we need to be overall more consistent, but it isn't anything that's like skewed out of proportion right now. I mean, kids are straining, defense straining. You know, are we catching every ball? No. You know, are we catching our fair share? Yes. Do we need to catch more? Absolutely. We need to do better with contested catches. You know, when things are tough, we have a few guys that are making contested catches unbelievable, and then at times, you know, we get the ball batted out, you know, when the ball hits our hands, and our defense does a good job of getting that third arm in there. So, I mean, we got to keep working with that.
Who are the guys that you've noticed that have been particularly good at those contested?
A couple of them. Appreciate that question, buddy.